the Business Finance Podcast, brought to you by the Best Finance Group. New episodes every Friday. Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Business Finance Podcast. He's Jack Seymour.
He's Phil Murphy.
Thank you for joining us. So, episode 10, we're gearing up to Christmas now, and we're quite busy, aren't we, actually? We're
very busy, yeah.
Busier than Santa's elves at the moment. We're getting lots of inquiries, lots of introductions. We've had a few people get in touch about the Growth Guarantee Scheme. Just been speaking to a nice chap just now after they saw our deal of the week last week.
On this very podcast.
Yeah, so that's good. So we're going to do another deal of the week, and today is our Recruitment Finance Special.
Nice.
So we've done couriers, we've done construction the week before, so yeah, we're going to talk about the world of recruitment finance today. And Jack, I know we normally keep the deal of the week to the end, but I'm too excited today, so we're going to go straight into our deal of the week, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Deal of the week.
Great. So here we are. So today's deal of the week, or this week's deal of the week, is a temporary staff provider in the healthcare sector. Now, they've grown organically from £200,000 turnover to £1.5 million turnover in the space of 2 years. So,
wow.
So they've grown, as I say, grown organically. The current lender they were using, a lender that was providing the back office and the factoring, they were actually paying 4.4%. So it was like an all-in bundled fee
per invoice
for all their invoices. Wow. So it was a lot of money, which we're going to go through now.
On one point, what was it?
On 1 point, well, so the facility is about 150,000 a month. So,
yeah. Just over 1.5 million turnover.
Yeah. So,
wow.
So we looked at what they wanted. They wanted to eventually bring the back office in-house.
Okay.
Okay. So we searched the market, spoke to our specialist lenders in the recruitment finance market. We managed to get the fee down to 2.1%, so over half. And that was with the back office included for 6 months, because what they wanted to do was bring all that in-house. So it allowed them 6 months to get everything ready, get all the systems in place and bring that in-house.
When you say back office, what do you mean by that? Just for the...
Well, just it's all the payroll and just all the general admin and...
So all the payroll, yeah?
Yeah, all the payroll and everything,
yeah.
But they wanted to do that themselves. So okay. Our lender to say, well, we'll do it for 6 months and I'll give you time to help get yourself set up. And then again, you can bring it in-house and there'll be further cost savings.
Good idea. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So let's start. So the fees they were paying £77,000 a year. Right. And recruitment, it's a margin business. There's no assets really, is it?
Yeah.
Involved. So it's a margin business. So any savings go straight to the bottom line.
Yeah.
So £77,000 to £36,000, a saving of £31,000 on our annual fees. But when they go down to just factoring, which is going to be 6 months' time, that's going to reduce to less than 1%, saving an extra £17,000. So that's a total of about £60,000 saving on fees.
Wow.
So
I
know.
That's huge,
one of the best
isn't
ones
it?
I've ever done. It's amazing.
Let me just get this clear. So you switched them for a like-for-like facility,
yeah.
But not only that, so they could come away from back office, so they brought that back in-house.
Yeah.
And you saved them over £30,000 a year.
Well, £36,000 on the first stage.
That's massive, yeah.
I know. And then when they go to factoring, they're just going to be doing that in-house. It's going to be just under 1%. So their fees are going to go to £17,000 a year from £77,000 a year.
Good work.
And that's why it's our deal of the week, because I can, I've done some good deals this week.
Yeah.
So we'll do one of yours next week, but because it was a recruitment finance special, let's get that in.
That's going to take some beating, that is, Phil. That's going to take some beating.
A very, very happy customer, and I'm happy because that's just made an absolute massive difference. Straight into the dividends at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's why we're all doing what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, because not only, I think that's a really key point that you touched on there, not only do we save clients' fees, because yes, we can do that, we can switch people, and we have some massive success stories, but we do more than that as well, don't we? Because there are some brokers out there who just say, "Oh, I'm just going to save you money."
Yeah, but give you a like-for-like facility and just save you money, and there we are, job done. But that's not what they wanted, so you have to dig deeper, don't you?
Exactly.
What would you like to do? Well, we'd like to just eventually bring all this in-house.
Yeah, and that is so fundamental for them, because you tailored the facility to what they wanted.
And not all lenders would do that, so you need to have a good group of lenders, and a lender will say, well, okay, well, yeah, well, what they need, okay, well, we can help them do that. We'll just do this for 6 months.
Yeah.
They're accommodating, they're changing what they do to adapt to the client, and you need to work with lenders like that. You need them in your back pocket.
And that's the power of the good old NACFB, isn't it? Because we have access to the whole of market. We're not restricted in who we can and can't go to.
Yeah.
And the chances are, if we weren't a member, you wouldn't have been able to access that lender and get that facility for them. So
Yeah.
sort of,
So
sets us apart on that side. I would
Yeah,
say.
absolutely. So it is a genuine whole of market search when we do look for new solutions for our clients. So there you are. That's
Brilliant.
our deal of the week. Got to work on that jingle. so today then we're going to talk about recruitment finance.
Yeah.
That's temporary staff, permanent staff placements, international clients. Some recruitment companies do a bit of temp, a bit of perm.
Yeah.
Some will do one, and then we'll be looking at doing temp. We think, oh, that's now we're going to have to pay that weekly. How are we going to finance that? So we're going to sort of run through temp, perm, and international clients today.
Okay.
So do you want to start off with temp, or any recent
sure.
cases that you might have done, or a common case that you might do?
Yeah, the most common case that we get approached is I run a temporary recruitment agency,
Placing staff.
and I have to pay them on a weekly wage.
Yeah.
But my customer, whether that be local authority or a private company,
Yeah.
isn't paying me for 30, 60, 90 days.
Yeah.
And how am I going to bridge that gap? So temporary recruitment, invoice finance is a must-have, but making sure that you get it at the margin that you want and the facility that you want. Because as we've already touched on, you can have back office, or you can do the back office yourself.
Yeah.
So essentially, do you want the workers paid for you by the lender, or do you want to pay them yourself, or use an external payroll company? You've got all options there.
Yeah.
So invoice finance in temporary recruitment, we're very well rehearsed in it, very well experienced, and I would say that there are the most amount of solutions out there. But then if you've got that mix of temporary and permanent staff placement, some will say, Jack, just fund against the temporary, leave the perms. I'll fund those myself.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because of the rebates. And often, obviously, with permanent, they're not paying that staff. They're making that payroll either.
Yeah.
They're just getting a fee for placing that permanent worker. So they don't have that cash flow requirement.
Yeah. It's just when they move into the temp space, and now all of a sudden you're paying.
Yeah, so it's all about the temps really. But if there are viewers out there and the people watching say, well, Jack, Phil, I do both, that's okay.
Yeah.
We can just fund the temps and leave the perms. That's all. And if there are exceptions whereby we have actually funded permanent staff.
Just perm?
Just perm.
Yeah, I've done a few of those.
We have done those, but as I say, the requirement's not necessarily there. And there could be other facilities out there, other solutions, revolving credit, business loans, that might be a bit more better.
If you're a startup, if you just started doing perm, you're doing perm, then it's a good solution then, because you're waiting 3 months typically to get paid. So when you're starting up, you need to get that first deal or two over the line and get some money in.
Yeah, when you're doing, temp, you mean?
Saying, if someone is a start, so you say you do it more for temp rather than perm.
Yeah.
If someone starts up a permanent recruitment agency, quite often they haven't got the finance really to.
Yeah, because when you're starting up, you're trying to do everything yourself, aren't you? You're trying to be in marketing, you're trying to do, accountancy, you're just trying to get the sales in, you're trying to do everything all as a one-man band. So if you can outsource that to the lender for a fixed fee, because quite commonly, recruitment agencies, as you've said before, work on a margin, don't they? So they want to know, well, if I'm working on a 10% margin, if I'm giving away 3% to the factoring company, that's fine. I'm just going to either add that on to my margin, or I've got enough to absorb it. And that's why they love that fixed fee. It doesn't have to be done on a fixed fee, but quite commonly, recruitment companies do like to work on a fixed fee.
And what sort of, when we're placing staff, which different industries? Obviously you've got healthcare, which I've touched upon there. It could be drivers.
Yeah, healthcare, transport, all
IT, engineers and things like that.
The list goes on. The challenge which some clients face is those into the construction industry.
Yeah, that is tough.
Which can be difficult, but not. It doesn't mean that it can't be overcome. It's just understanding what those staff are doing, the clawbacks, the contracts, And that's really, really, really fundamental
Yeah.
for the viewers, that if they are running a recruitment agency, placing construction workers, having someone else external review those contracts for you,
Yeah.
it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be signing a contract which is going to leave you liable.
Yeah, so the lender will review the contracts and say,
Free of charge.
clause there, you just be
Yeah.
careful of that, blah, blah, blah. But the other thing is, as well as for a busy business owner that's in that space, you could go to a lot of lenders. You could spend a lot of time trying to find someone who could do it, and you've got to explain yourself over and over again.
And you don't want to be doing that as a
No.
recruitment agency. You want to be getting on the phone, getting on LinkedIn, getting emails, however you are, procuring new business. That is your most valuable asset, not calling around trying to find invoice financiers, which, let's be honest, you're kind of shooting in the dark if you're not in that industry.
Because most won't do it. So there's only a very small pool of lenders that would do that.
And ending up with a facility which isn't that beneficial to them.
Yeah.
So that's
in that instance, it's worth using a broker, definitely, for that.
Oh, 100%.
In that instance.
100%, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so we've touched on temp and perm there. So yeah, I do speak to a lot of people who run a permanent recruitment agency, and they're thinking of getting into temp.
Yeah.
So that's quite a common.
So if they're running a perm and they want to get into temp because they could be charging more margin, or there could be a new area of growth for them, make sure you get the funding in place through invoice finance early. Set out your stall, know what contracts you're going to be adhering to, or what type of workers that you're going to place, the expected revenue, and then come to the likes of ourselves, a broker, and we can build a facility around it, and they know what the cost is, how it's going to work, and then away they go.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I'll tell you an interesting one. If you've got, if you've got international clients. So I remember, I think it was when we had we had IT engineers working in Egypt in a bank.
Okay.
So yeah, for our viewers, if you are placing international staff, temp and perm.
Yes, I've got a client, a lady who places very high-end director, management above, over 100k salary sort of workers. So we've got the higher end in America.
Yeah.
And she was really struggling because she had an invoice finance facility because she did it in the UK and America.
Right.
But all the people in America were excluded. So she wasn't getting the funding on those staff in America.
Yeah.
And I said to her, well, if we could fund those, what would that do? And she said, well, it'd be massive because that's where we're going. There's a larger industry in America than there is here for recruitment for various reasons around their employment law. And that's what we want to do. I said, is that possible, Jack? Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
And not only that, we did it on a selective basis. So she had access to a portal. She simply dragged and dropped what invoices she want funded onto the portal, whether that be across the world. She didn't have to just deal with America, across the world. And then she was getting funding on those within 24 hours.
It just opens up a world of possibilities then, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when it comes to funding international clients, now it's a small panel of lenders, but some will do all your UK and your international. Yeah. Or you could do single invoice finance for international as well. Have you done much of that? Because I've done quite a few of those. Yeah,
the single ones, as I just touched on.
Selective could be selective.
It's really case by case, but it's actually understanding what the turnover is and if it's beneficial, because selective comes at higher cost but greater flexibility. Yeah. So it's really deeming. It's a bit like, I use a comparison on a phone. Do you want it pay as you go or a contract? If you're using your phone all the time, you want it on a contract. If you're using your phone once a day, to make the odd call once a week, you don't want a contract because it's not going to be beneficial for you. So it's just deciding how much, what is the need for the facility, and then doing a cost comparison, which we can do really, really swiftly for them, and see what the most beneficial facility would be for the client.
When you say selective, I'm saying single, it's pretty much the same thing really, isn't it?
Oh, it's the same thing.
Because you can do just a one-off invoice. If you've got a £50,000 invoice for a company in Egypt or whatever it might be, the UAE, you can fund just a one-off invoice with no contract, no personal guarantee as well.
It's literally 24 hours, 48 hours, they get the funding.
Typically about 80% advance on I would say on the international single invoice finance.
Well, one really key thing to note on that is who is the end customer. because all of these selective, or you know, however you want to phrase it, selective invoice finances are credit insured.
Yeah.
So they must be able to get the insurance cover on that invoice from that customer, and that's to protect them as much as you. So who is that customer that you're invoicing outside of the UK?
Yeah, we could check them first and check the
And
credit
really
limit
get,
against them.
because the last thing you want to be doing is going off, placing £50,000 worth of temp recruitment.
And can't fund it.
And you can't fund it, or they don't pay it, and how are you going to recover money in the UAE? Pretty difficult.
If you are funding international, if you have got staff being placed internationally, single invoice finance about 1.75% per 30 days, I would say. That includes credit insurance.
Yes.
Yeah, and says no personal guarantee. So you get 80% advance as soon as you raise that invoice.
Super quick, easy.
And then 20% then when the client settles in full. That 1.75% fee is every 30 days, which is good to be aware of that. It's not bad, is it?
No, it's perfect, and obviously
multi-currencies as well.
Yeah, and that ranges on a case-by-case basis, doesn't it?
It's roughly around there, I would say,
on average, if there is an ever average.
And then if you've got a permanent facility, you're going to be you'll be paying less than that.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say. Yeah. So that's covered off temp, perm, and international finance for recruitment companies. So that's that. So one last thing we wanted to touch on. You've got a bit of an announcement, aren't you? Quite proud of the project you've been working on for the last few months. Tell us all about the new Pinnacle portal.
The new portal,
and who it's for.
So, and that will come into the best group as well. So now our viewers can apply for funding across any finance product type that they wish in under 4 minutes. Brilliant. They can track their application through from start to finish. Us as brokers get a notification when that application has come through, and we can provide updates and messages to our client as they go.
It's amazing.
No one else has it in the market, and it is being built upon as well. So it's absolutely huge for those clients that, if in doubt, you can simply go on our website, click apply, put your information directly into our portal, and it will prompt you for the required information. And you'll know what your application is within 4 minutes.
Saves getting multiple emails, send this, send that. It just so much easier. All the documents are in one place. All the information is one place. They can check on the progress. They don't have to chase us, not that they would, but they don't have to keep trying to get in touch. They can just go online and see the latest status. It's just so much easier. And also for introducers. I mean, this is massive for introducers, isn't it?
All for our partners out there is absolutely huge, because now they can, any time of day, it's never turned off, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, put an application on, put their client's details, we can see where it's come from, and we can see their client's details as well. They know the required information, and it's all done in under 5 minutes. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's a game changer, it really is. It's going to make everyone's life easier. Yes. So we've actually got an event on Thursday. So next Thursday, where is the event? In Bristol, at the Granary Restaurant. Highly recommended. For all our valued partners and introducers, we'll see you there on Thursday. Yeah, and if you're thinking about becoming an introducer, and you want to come along, there's probably a few spaces we could probably fit you in. Yeah. So that's from 1 till 3 next Thursday, and we'll put the details in the comment section. So I think that's it for this week. We've had a nice deal of the week. We've given some knowledge to the recruitment, about the recruitment finance out there. We've talked about the portal. So I think that's it for episode 10. Thank you for joining us, and please like and subscribe and share this amongst any of your colleagues or friends that might benefit from it. So thanks for joining us. See you on the next one. Thank you for joining us. If you have any commercial finance requirements, please contact us at thebestgroup.co.uk.